Good evening. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for checking out my channel. I'll give you a little bit of background. I'm certainly not an expert on the Philippines by any means. I'm just a guy that loves the Philippines, fell in love with it, and I'm just passionate about it. And so I started this little YouTube channel, and it's a lot of fun for me to make these videos and to document my experience. And today I just want to talk about something that is kind of special to me. Hopefully you won't see any tears come out of my eyes, because it's kind of emotional to me, but in a great way. Today I want to talk about how I met my Filipina girlfriend. I've done a lot of research about the Philippines for the last couple of years. Again, I'm no expert. I've been on all the dating sites. I've been on Filipina Cupid, Pina Love, Christian Filipina. The list goes on and on. And I've met a lot of interesting, people. I've met, people on Facebook, and I've had conversations and met people in person when I was in the Philippines. And that's a whole nother video. But today I want to just talk about, someone kind of special to me. And before I even decided to make this video, I spoke with my girlfriend. Her name is Jonalyn. She's a wonderful person, and she actually suggested that I make this video. And before I get into that, let's just take a look here. I'm in my home country right now. I'm not in the Philippines. I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm on the beach today. It's golden hour. It's sunset is about to happen. And just check this out, guys. Like, look how beautiful this is. Sun is about to set. Tide's coming back in. And it's really beautiful out here. It's not the Philippines by any means. The water's a little murky, but it is beautiful. But anyway, I digress. Today I just want to talk to you about how I met my wonderful Filipina girlfriend. Pretty organic meeting, I guess. Met her in person. I was in Cebu, in southern Cebu, and I just so happened to walk into the place that she was working, and I met her that way. But before I get into the actual meeting, I'm just going to talk a little bit about, a point that I made in my last video. The Philippines, for guys like me, is a place that quality relationships are easy. Well, not easy to find. They exist. Quality relationships exist in the Philippines. I know many people in the Philippines that have relationships that have been 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. One of my good friends that runs a resort there that I stayed at, it's called Sandbag Hideaway. It's in Mobile, Cebu, and I'll be staying there again here very soon. He's been with his Filipino wife for 25 years. They're very happy. They run a successful, profitable business. He's a super cool guy. They're super happy. I know many people that are very happy. The list just goes on and on. I know 10, 15 different people that are in very good relationships with Filipinos that they've met. And whether they've met them online or met them in person, you know, it's just, people are very happy. So relationships seem to be longer lasting for the most part than a lot of people I know here in the USA. So now I'll get into how I met my Filipina girlfriend. So it's a rainy day. It had just been, it is rain season over there. When I arrived, it had rained, just Forrest Gump rain. I mean, for 5 days straight. It was crazy. I just felt trapped in my room over there, and I finally said, I got to get out of here and go do something. And I wandered into the place where my girlfriend works. I'm not going to say where she works. I'm going to keep some anonymity about her. And I went to buy an item, okay? And one of her co-workers was helping me buy that item, and I got to chatting with her a little bit, and she asked me if I was single, and I said yes, I am single. And you know, at the time I was not looking for a girlfriend or a relationship. I honestly went to the Philippines to try to find an escape from the grind that I'm in here. You know, the 60, 70-hour work weeks that I work, and I was just really looking for a different way of life, and I found it. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But anyway, I met her friend. Her friend is named Kim, and shout out to you, Kim. And we chatted, and I told her that I was single, and she said, I want you to meet someone, my friend. And I said, oh, okay, what, you know, I'm game. So she took me and introduced me to my current girlfriend. And I'll just say that when I looked into her eyes, I saw, wow, you know, I just saw a kindness. I could just tell that she was a very humble person, and she was beautiful. That never hurts, right? And there was just something there. So I'm like, wow, okay. So we exchanged information. You know, Facebook is big in the Philippines, so I said, hey, do you have Facebook? She said yes. We connected on Facebook. We chatted for a bit, and I said, at one point I said, hey, would you like to go out and have dinner with me? And she was a little apprehensive, honestly, as she should have been, right? She didn't really know me. And she said, well, can my friend come along? And I said, well, sure, of course your friend can come along. And so I had a friend there that I asked, hey, would you come with me? And she, you know, be with us. So it'd be kind of a group thing. It would be a little bit, you know, less obtrusive or less, what am I trying to say here? I just want it to be a comfortable situation. So the four of us went and we had dinner at this place that I like. And the first meeting was not the greatest. I mean, I definitely you know, knew that, hey, this is a quality person here. I enjoy being around her, but let's just say, you know, maybe there was like some misunderstandings there. That I had some preconceived notions, I guess, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, dinner went well, but you know, maybe there's, you know, not a whole lot that's gonna come of this, right? So we had dinner, and that was pretty much it. But I'll say that she was definitely on my mind. She was definitely on my mind, and so we continued to chat over Messenger, and she invited me to go see her province, which was up in the mountains. And I said, yeah, I would love to do that. You know, I love getting out away from, you know, the hustle and bustle of the little town we were in. And the first time she invited me, I ended up doing something else and kind of not really brushed her off, but I had other plans. And then I felt bad about that. And I was like, you know what, I need to revisit this. So like a week later, we ended up getting together, and she took me to her province where she was from and where her, you know, family was from, and it's called Beautiful Philippines, which is in southern Philippines. It's near Oslo on the east side of the island. And I gotta say, it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It was a pretty long bike ride that we took, several hours, and we drove up into the mountains. She took me to where her father lived, and I met her father. Her father was really cool. It's the first time that I actually tried tubac, which is coconut wine, and it's awesome. I gotta say, like, I love that stuff. He offered me some kinilaw, which is kind of like sushi, if you will, a small little fish. And we ate kinilaw, we drank tubac, coconut wine, we chatted. Again, a pretty long journey to get to this spot, and the weather wasn't that great. It had been raining. It was kind of, you know, muddy, but a beautiful spot in the mountains where her family lives. Just very quiet and peaceful. What a great spot. So, you know, as the day gets going here, I'm kind of thinking in my head, well, you know, we got to start getting back and get dark. It's been raining. We go and see a couple other little, you know, sites on the way. We went to the market in Beautiful before we went up into the mountains and bought some fish, bought some things, and really cool spot. And I'll say that I love Beautiful. The market there was really cool. I'll say this, I've heard other expats saying at different spots that, oh, they charge you foreigner prices. Well, not the case in Beautiful. And I actually tested that fact. I saw her buy some fresh fish for her family, and she bought some ginger and some other things, and I said, well, let me just test the waters here. So I asked her what the price of the ginger was, and then I went, when she went somewhere else, and asked the merchant, hey, how much is a kilo of the ginger? And lo and behold, it was the same price, which was really, I was really happy with that, because I'm like, hey, you know, it's fair here, you know. We hear all these types of things where, as foreigners, they charge us more and this and that, but it's just not the case everywhere. I mean, there are good people in the Philippines, and I just found really quickly this little area. They were being honest with me, and I was like, that's pretty refreshing, right? So we buy the items that she wanted for her family, fish and some ginger and some other cooking items. We go up to see her father, drink some coconut wine, eat some kini lau, look out over the beautiful mountainside. It was really a great experience. She shows me some other little spots, and then we go visit her brother. And she wanted to take some fresh fish to her brother. And she's like, yeah, we're gonna drive to this, little spot, take him some fish. I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, we're gonna be able to drive right up to his house. Well, no, that's not the case. We drive until basically the paved road ends, okay? And we start walking. I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're gonna walk, 5-10 minutes or, whatever to his house. Well, no. We're walking 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's muddy. The old American here is thinking, when are we gonna get to his house? I'm slipping and sliding in the mud. I'm not having a great time. Let's just put it that way. It got to a point where I'm like, oh my God, when is this gonna end? Like, starting to get a little aggravated here. But something kind of dawned on me. I'm like, wow. This girl is willing to walk 45 minutes, an hour up this muddy road, and I'll probably insert some photos of that for you guys to see. But it was a real chore, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, like, I care about my family here, but I'm not walking an hour up a muddy ass road to give my family anything. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry, it's just, we're just a little bit different here, and I'm not doing that. And I was just shocked that she was willing to go to that lengths just to take her brother some fresh fish, and that really stood out to me. So it's at one point I'm slipping and sliding. I'm wearing these Crocs. I'm like, it's just the wrong shoes, for this adventure. She calls her brother on the phone, and he actually meets us, probably 10 or 15 minutes from where his house is. And I had brought a beer, for us to share. And so we sit there. I'm introduced to him. Very cool guy, farmer, hardworking guy. He brought his wife with him. We sat there, we shared a beer, which I thought was really cool. And, after that, we went back to the scooter, motorcycle, to get back down the mountain to get back home. And I'm looking at the weather, and I'm like, damn, this is about to get kind of nasty, right? It's kind of raining. It had been raining really hard for the several days prior. And we do a little sightseeing, we start heading back. Well, this is where things get really freaking interesting and scary. So we start heading back across from the east side of Cebu to the west side. We're cutting across the mountaintops and going from one coast to another. From Bohajun back across to the Santander Malamenbak, probably pronouncing that wrong, side. Well, we're cutting through this mountain pass, and man, the roads are terrible. It's just the slushy mud. I got her on the back, and we're sliding around, and I'm scared to death. I'll be honest. We're slipping, we're sliding, and it's starting to get dark. It's raining. It is really stressing me out because I'm sitting here thinking, if I dump her off of this motorcycle and she gets hurt, well, her father and her brother are probably going to kill me, right? They're going to hurt me. I feel very responsible for her safety at this point, and it is super stressful. Anyone that has not ridden a motorcycle or had skills, I'm not saying I'm the expert, but they probably would have crashed. A few times the front wheel's sliding. I had to put my feet down to keep us from dumping the bike over. She's on the back, which has got a little bit higher center of gravity now, and I'm really worried that I'm going to get us both very hurt. And we are in the middle of nowhere. If we fall, break an arm, break a leg, we're so far from the nearest hospital or from the nearest anything. I mean, it's a scary situation. And it's getting dark, and I'm saying, you know, how much farther? How much farther? I got no cell service. And I will say this about her. She is cool, calm, and collected. I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit. At a few points during this little adventure, I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm trying to keep it together, but not only am I scared, but I'm terrified. So we keep going down the mountain. It just never ends, right? It's like hour after hour. I'm like, we must be getting closer. We must be getting closer. And we're not. We're in the middle of nowhere. No street lights, no nothing. Just a dark, muddy mountain road. And when I say mountain road, it's not much of a road. It's just slush and mud. And at times I'm thinking, how the hell is this little scooter that I'm on going to get through this? But we keep rolling. I'm like, we can't stop. You know, there's nowhere. It's not like there's a hotel we can stay in. There's not like we have any choice. We just got to keep going. An hour goes by after hour after hour. We started this little adventure at like 4:30 a.m. Right now it's like getting into 4:30 p.m., 5:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m. We're still heading down the mountain road in the mud and the slush. It's terrifying. It's got me completely stressed out. I'm so scared that she's gonna get hurt. And that was my biggest fear, is that I'm gonna dump the bike over, she's gonna get hurt, and I would just feel awful. I would just feel terrified and just awful if something happened to her at this point. But we keep going. We get down to the bottom of the mountain, and man, I'm so stressed out. I'm hungry, I'm stressed out. There's a little restaurant we get to that's right in Bad John. And I walk in there, and I need a drink, I'll be honest. I walk in there, I know it's good food. I'm like, hey, do you guys sell beer here? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I tell her, I'm like, wait, I'll be right back. So I walk about 50 yards up to the 7-Eleven. I get me a Grande San Mig Pilsen and bring it back into the restaurant. And I'm just, I'm just stressed out, man. Very stressful day, but it was a great adventure. So I get her home. I get myself back to my resort, and I'm kind of maybe a little aggravated, right, after this day. But I just kept thinking about how impressed I was with her, and how calm she was in the face of adversity, and how much she cared about her family. I was like, damn, there's something here, right? So I remember waking up the next morning, she was on my mind, and I was kind of wanting to just, honestly, as bad as this sounds, I was like, man, I don't need to find a relationship right now in my life. I really just wanted to come to the Philippines on a fact-finding mission, see if I could retire here. And we chatted over Messenger, and I was like, you know what, I probably just need to not be in a relationship right now. And I don't think that's what she was looking for either. So I let a few days go by, and she was still on my mind. And I texted her, and I said, hey, would you be interested in going on a canyoneering trip with me? I want to go to Kawasan Falls. And she said, wow, like that's always been my dream, to go to Kawasan Falls. And I said, well, would you accompany me to Kawasan Falls? And I kind of digressed, but I realized really early with her that she was not one of these like one night stand kind of girls. She's a quality person, very religious, very into her family, and I liked being around her. I liked being in her presence, it just made me feel good to be around her. So I'm like, hey, would you go to Kawasan with me? And she said, yes, I would love to. I'll take time off from work. So I set it up. I hired a guide to take us, and one of the things I really respected about her is that, when I set a time for us to do things, she was there. It was none of this Filipina time stuff. It was like, if it was 4:30 a.m., which that was the time that we met to go to her province, she was there. And I was shocked, because I had talked to other, women in the past. And if you set a time, it's like, oh, okay, this amount at this time, it might be an hour later, or it might be never. She was very prompt and very punctual, and I was like, that's cool. So we ended up going to Kawasan Falls, and man, we had a great time. I hired a guide. We get to Kawasan Falls, and the tour operator asked me, do you want to do the zip line? And I'm like, well, let me ask her, if she wants to do the zip line. He says, well, you're the boss, you're the banker, it's up to you. And I'm like, no, it's not up to me. If she doesn't want to do it, I don't want to scare her. If she doesn't want to do the zip line, we won't do it. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, do you want to do the zip line? She's like, up to you, up to you. And I'm like, well, if you're scared, let's not do it. She's like, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, well, we're doing it. So we did the zip line. It's freaking epic. Most beautiful thing ever. We go to Kawasan Falls, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's the most beautiful adventure I think I've ever been on in my entire life. We had a great time. We had a really good guide. His name was Randy. I mean, super cool. And wouldn't you know, I get back to the room with her. We're reviewing the footage of Kawasan. I got it. It's freaking great. And somehow I freaking deleted all the footage out of the GoPro. I mean, epic fail, right? oh my God, I was so freaking disappointed. You know, but anyway, great adventure. So we just kept doing things together, right? So I asked her, hey, would you go on another adventure with me, and so on and so forth. And we just kept spending time with each other. Another place that we went that was really cool was Aguinid Falls, 6 different levels of Aguinid Falls. And when we went on that little adventure, same thing. I said, okay, let's meet up at such and such place at 4:30 a.m. 4:30 a.m., right? Pretty freaking early. Well, she was there. She was there. You know, very punctual. I was like, damn, you know, this is pretty cool. So we go to Aguinid Falls, and wow, what a special place. We had such a great time. We were like the first people there, so the guides we had for Aguinid showed us a great adventure, and it was like we had the whole place to ourselves. We just had a wonderful time, and I just can't say enough about that place and the hospitality that the Filipino guides showed us. We also went to what's it called? I'm having a brain freeze here, but it's a spiritual spot. I'll link it down. I'll put the name of it. It's a spiritual place for Catholics that we went to, and wow, we just had such a great time, and we just kept hanging out, right? And so every morning we would go and eat at this little carinderia that was near where she worked, and I just really looked forward to that. And I just started to realize that, you know, this is a quality person here. This is not someone that's, you know, one night stand, all that. This is a quality human being that I'm really interested in. And so we just started to kind of bond a little bit more and realized that we had a lot in common, and we liked the same things. One thing that I really appreciated about her is that she was super smart. She's in engineering. She's got her degree in engineering. Very smart, very humble, and she loves nature. And I love nature. And we just kept going on adventures. We went to see the whale sharks together. I did another video about that. And she loved it. And it was so wonderful to have her around. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, like, if you're in the Philippines, yes, they do speak English, okay? But not everyone speaks the English that it's not as fluent as we think, right? So like when we went to see the whale sharks, it was chaos. It was like all this craziness going on. There was a ton of people there, a ton of tourists, and airplane going by, guys. Pretty beautiful. I live near a Air Force base here, so we see the planes fly a lot, but there's a lot of chaos going on, right? And she was able to cut through all that crap. Like, like she was able to speak, to, I guess, I don't know if you call it a fixer or whatever, but we were able to cut through, a lot of the red tape. Look at that, guys. Seagull flying. I get so distracted. I'm kind of ADD. But having her on some of these adventures it was amazing because she could talk to people in her native tongue and kind of cut through a lot of the stuff that I wouldn't have been able to do by myself. And the big thing is I just really enjoyed being in her presence. I'm like, damn, you know, I remember texting a friend of mine back here in the States, and I'm like, I think I met someone that is really special. And it was kind of like bittersweet because I'm like, I don't really want this in my life right now. I'm like, I'm here to just find out if I can retire here. I'm not trying to get caught up in a relationship or this or that. But, you know, it was a wonderful thing. She is a very, very wonderful person and so positive, almost positive to a fault. And I say that because, you know, Filipinas and Filipinos are very positive people. Sometimes I get upset here over things work-related, or I've said this before, I could stub my toe and it'll piss me off all day. And I'm trying to get better about that because, you know, I'm alive. You know, look at me today. I'm sitting out here in this water. It feels great. You know, life is pretty good, right? It could always be worse. But she's super positive, and I need more of that in my life. I really do. So we just kept spending time with each other, and I realized that, man, this is a quality person. This is someone that can really enrich my life and help me build something. I've got some big ideas about what I want to do in the Philippines. Real estate is one of those. I definitely plan on building a house there on the beach somewhere, and I have thousands of islands to choose from. I need to be close to the salt water like I am here. So I just started realizing that, hey, you know, this is a quality person, and this is someone that I really care about. And I like being in her presence. You know, just being around her makes me feel good, right? That's always a good sign. So, kind of the purpose of this video, she encouraged me to make it, is I want to share with people that, you know, if you're not happy here in the United States or whatever country you're in, man, it's a big world that we live in, and there are places on the planet that we can go to and we can be valued. I just feel like in the Philippines, I'm valued. I'm not so much valued here in the United States. And I'm not ashamed to say that. The day that I came back from the Philippines on this last trip was the best and the worst day of my life, because I realized that life would never be the same. And I also realized that my home is in the Philippines. It is not in the United States. I've always felt like that since I left the United States for the first time many years ago and traveled. I always knew that I would end up living abroad. And yes, I'm a United States citizen, but this is not my home anymore. And I've never really felt comfortable here. So, you know, there's that. But, you know, I just want to tell, you know, anyone that's listening and they're sitting around and thinking they're going to die alone, get out of your comfort zone. Explore things that you may not have thought were possible. And if you have any comments on your experience, if you're dating a Filipina or you're married to a Filipina, please leave them below. I would love to hear, you know, anyone's experience. I can tell you that for me, I mean, this is beautiful, right? You know, this beach. Let's just take a little look here, right? I've got to be near the salt water. But this is not my home anymore. My home is in the Philippines. So within the next couple of years, I will be there full time. I will build a house. I'll build a life for myself there. Life is short, people. You know, live your dreams. You know, if you get up every day and you're, you know, thinking about your dreams and your goals, that's a good thing. Like, just don't let anyone compromise your dreams. I tell my friends this: my dreams are non-negotiable. Okay, I'm 52 years old. I'm not going to be alive very much longer in the grand scheme of things, and my dreams are non-negotiable. I'm going to get everything that I want in this short amount of time that I have left. And you know, it's just non-negotiable. And I just really encourage people that to, you know, just get out of their comfort zone, man. Like, if there's something that you really want to do in your life, don't get caught up in these 40, 50, 60, 70 hour work weeks over here. If you have the ability to pursue something that you're really passionate about, do that. You know, like, I have failed at so many things in my life. I've failed at more things than most people have tried, okay? I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying that one of my superpowers is that if I'm unhappy, I'm willing to make a change. And that's kind of what this channel is about. As the sun is setting here, I'm just reflecting on how beautiful, you know, life really is. And another one of my friends says to me a lot, you must enjoy the passage of time. And shout out to you, Scott. Like, you're right. You must enjoy the passage of time. And I will. And I hope you do too. So, you know, I guess I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but here's the gist of this video, guys and gals. And I don't want to leave out the women. Like, if you're unhappy, there's a lot of women in this country that are set financially, but they're not happy, you know, romantically or in a relationship. There's other places you can go and on this planet that I promise you, you are valued. So if you're still watching at this point, thank you so much. Okay, I've got a lot of things I want to accomplish with this channel. Philanthropically, I want to give back to the Philippines. I want to use it as a platform to explore the country. And I'm kind of losing light here, so I'll wrap this up. But thank you so much. I just want you to realize that there are quality relationships in the world, and you might have to think out of your comfort zone a little bit, but there's places that you can live that are a lot less expensive than what you know if you're in the United States, Australia, Europe. All right, I'm back. I thought this little video was going to be over, but it's not. I started to edit this video, and I realized I left some things out. So I'm back down here on the beach. It's probably the hottest part of the day, but it feels nice. It's a nice little breeze out here. There's a lot of people on the beach today, but the water feels great. So I'm just kind of walking along. I got home and started to edit that video. And I just realized that I just kind of left some things out that I want to include, and it's okay. This video might be one of those that I'm the only one that watches. You know, it's just a record of in the future for myself, and it's okay. But I'm gonna do something today that I said I would never do. I'm actually gonna give you guys that watch my channel some dating advice. Dating Filipinas. I said I'd never do that, but you know, never say never, right? So first of all, I guess one of the things I left out that I really wanted to touch on is just the videos about how I met my Filipina girlfriend and how we kind of started bonding. And something that's important that I wanted to mention is just, and I think I touched on it earlier, is just, how calm and peaceful I just feel in her presence. She's so positive and just wonderful to be around. But something that really stood out, for me last night when I was watching this footage is really a pivotal point that I did not mention. So I was like, I could edit this in, at the house and do a talking head thing, but no, let's go back down to the beach. Why not? It's a beautiful day. So one of the things that really stood out to me about her is how focused she was on me when we would go out on these adventures. I had been out, and I know she's going to watch this, and she knows I've been completely honest with her. There were other girls that I spoke to and went out with, and there was just not the chemistry there. I mean, I met some really wonderful people, and they'll probably still be my friends over time, but there was just not the chemistry there that I felt with my current girlfriend. Something that happened to me that really just, it was like getting punched in the chest. Well, I digress. She was always focused on me. Like if we would go out to a restaurant or something like that, I try to be respectful always. But sometimes I'm addicted to my phone. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm always checking my Facebook. I'm always looking at stuff. And over there, if I had friends that messaged me from the United States, I'd message them back. And so I think that's just something that happens to a lot of people, is we just kind of get addicted to our phones. We want to, if we get a text, we got to see what's going on. If we get a notification from Facebook, we got to check it out. It's important, right? Well, so, I was always focused on her as well, being respectful, but if there was a lull in the conversation, or we're sitting there having lunch or dinner or breakfast or whatever, I might check my phone. Well, something I thought was kind of humorous that she would do sometimes is she would text me like a meme, or like she would shoot me something over Messenger, something kind of funny. And I'd be kind of looking at my screen and it'd pop up and it would be her, and she's sitting, across the table or next to me. And I just thought that was freaking hilarious. And there was none of that with her. And I just thought that was really cool, because I had been out with other girls that they were just glued to their phone. They were like doing the TikTok thing, or they were on Facebook Live, or they were always on their freaking phone. And like, if we went out to dinner or, a meal or even a coffee or something, their head's in their phone. I'm like, well, it definitely kind of puts a damper on things. You're like, well, what am I doing here? Like, if you're not interested in me, why am I here? And Jolene never did that. And so she really stood out. And again, I just felt at peace when I was around her. Like, we didn't even have to talk sometimes. It was just being in the same physical space just kind of put me at ease. And as our relationship kind of progressed, I mean, we would just do simple things together. And it just goes sit down by the seashore and hold hands, you know. Yes, guys, that still exists. Holding hands, you know, it's a powerful thing. You know, like, call me a simple guy, but that's a really wonderful thing. To just sit with someone, hold their hand, and just be in the same space with them and feel that, you know, comfort level. Well, and again, I know this video is going to be very long. It's going to be over an hour long, and that's okay, because what I'm hoping out of this video is if one person watches this and gets some enrichment out of it, cool, you know. And 3 years from now, if I go back and look at this video and see the progression that I've made and what I have in store for myself, awesome, you know, totally awesome. But, you know, one of the things that really struck me is like getting punched in the chest, is we were at Kawasan Falls, which I've mentioned this, it's literally the most beautiful spot in Cebu that I've ever seen. I mean, it was such a wonderful adventure. And I literally remember where my foot was, like where I placed my foot when I'm like, oh shit, I think I'm falling for this person. I remember it like it was yesterday, you know, like it's vivid in my memory. And I was like, you know what, I'm starting to have feelings for this person. And it was very unexpected, but welcome, if that makes sense. So I'm like, wow, you know, I think I found a quality person, and I think I have feelings for her, and I think this is probably going to change the course of my life. And again, we are still in the beginning stages of our relationship, even though we spent time together and done a lot of cool things together. We're still at the, you know, we still have a lot to learn about each other, right? And I'm pretty excited about that. But something that really just kind of punched me in the chest was we're at Kawasan Falls. We'd had just a wonderful time, right? I mean, our guide, Randy, was cool. I mean, it was just us. I made sure that we weren't in a big group. I told the woman at my resort that, hey, I really want like an intimate experience at Kawasan. So can we get a guide that's okay with just two of us? And I'll you know, if I need to pay more, I will. I just didn't want to be in a big group of people. And so we were able to do that. And, you know, we're getting towards the end of the canyoneering trip. And I look over at her, and I just saw like such a peacefulness and such a kindness in her eyes. And I just said, you know what, this is one of the best days of my life. Like, thank you so much for coming with me here, because there was another guy that was ahead of us, and he was by himself, and she even made comment to this, like, oh, you know, like, he must feel alone, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, man, being out in this beautiful place, it would still be cool as hell if you were by yourself. But to be able to share that with someone is really paramount, right? Like when you see beautiful things in nature and you're able to share that experience with someone else, it definitely makes it better, right? It always has for me. So I'm like, thank you so much for, doing this. I know you were scared about the zip line, and I asked her. She said, yeah, I was terrified. Like, and I'm like, well, why did you do it? She's like, well, I knew you wanted to, and I knew it would be fun, but I was terrified. And so that impressed the hell out of me, right? But she, I said to her, thank you for coming with me, because this just wouldn't have, it would only feel like 5% of the 100% that I felt being alone. If I was alone doing that adventure on my own, it would have been cool, yeah, but I mean, there would have been a hollowness about that, right? So it was cool for me to be able to share that for her, because I know that, she probably would not have been able to do that in her lifetime. So for me to be able to show her that was really special. And she turns to me and says, man, whew, it is my honor to be with you on this. Thank you so much. This was a dream of mine. And I'm a softie, right? And it was like someone punched me in the chest. I literally almost went into tears right there, because I've never in my 52 years of life had anyone say anything remotely as sincere as that statement. And yes, it was an ego booster, right? I've been married before. That failed. I have been in many relationships. Not all of them failed, but I've never had anyone treat me with such kindness and respect in my entire life. The care that she showed me and shows me to this day, it just blows my mind. It really changed my whole concept of what the third or fourth quarter of my life would be. I'm 52, man. I mean, how much longer do I got? But I can tell you this. Yes, I'm still in the beginning stages of this relationship. But if I am lucky enough to have someone on my side that cares about me as much as that and treats me with that type of respect, I've won, right? I can go to my grave a happy freaking man, and none of this other crap matters. Not a car, not a house, not a new iPhone, none of that crap matters to me. You know what matters to me is someone that gives me that respect, that attention, that care that I've never had in my entire life. So I just felt like I would really do a disservice, not only to her, but myself, if I did not include that in this video. And I'm just saying, guys, you can find quality relationships in the Philippines. There are women over there that are pure of spirit and heart, and they will treat you very well. And I'm not saying that in a subservient way. I would never want my girlfriend or my future wife, which will be a Filipina, 100%. I would never want her to do anything that she didn't feel comfortable with. I will always be the type of guy, I love to cook, so I don't expect my wife or my girlfriend to cook every meal for me, to do my laundry, this, that, and the other. Even though in the Philippines it's kind of considered a woman's obligation. But I'm from the West, you know, like I've lived alone for so many freaking years. I actually enjoy doing the cooking. I don't enjoy doing laundry. let's just be honest, right? I have a washing machine and a dryer for that shit. I don't, but you know, in the Philippines, I actually enjoyed doing my laundry by hand in a bucket. Just a different, I don't know, it's just simple, right? And so I digress a little bit, but what I really wanted to, you know, explain and just put out there is just that feeling that I get, you know, being around her. And I'm just going to say that, you know, guys, you can find that. You can find that for yourselves, not only in the Philippines, but other countries as well. So if you're not feeling valued, which I don't in this country, especially by women, it's unfortunate, but it's true. Like, I have a great job, I own my home, I have money in the bank, I have great credit, but I'm not valued here. And I realized that a long time ago. So I just pretty much decided that I was going to go somewhere where I was valued. And for me, that's Southeast Asia, and my heart will always be in the Philippines. There's other places I want to explore, but my heart is in the Philippines. And so I just kind of keep reiterating the same point, but you know, Filipinas, if you find a good one, they're going to treat you with so much kindness and respect, right? And they're always going to be by your side. They're going to be positive. And, you know, it's something I really need in my life. It's non-negotiable, and I've pretty much decided that, you know, whatever it takes, that I'm going to make that happen. And I think I'm really close. A friend of mine tells me that, hey man, you're already there. And I think he's kind of right. So over the next year or two, I'm really going to take a deep dive and try to see what it's going to take for me to make that serious move. And I hope that this channel is part of that. I just hit the 1,400 subscriber mark, which is cool. But, you know, as I learn more about YouTube, subscribers don't matter. It's about the views, right? So if no one watches your channel or watches your videos, it's just not going to work. So that's on me, right? So that's on me to bring content that can help, you know, that people are interested in, and I hope that I can enrich some people's lives through my channel. Not only guys like me that were sitting over here thinking they're going to die alone, or they just pretty much decided, you know, dating is not an option for me anymore, or when I get to the Philippines full time, I want to give back to the Filipinos, because they have damn sure given to me, right? They've that country has changed my whole scope of what I thought the rest of my life would be. So I feel completely obligated to give back. And, you know, I don't have anything written down here. I don't have a script. I'm just kind of speaking what's on my mind, and I will continue to do that with this channel, right? What you see is what you get. You know, when I get there, I'm gonna travel around and try to just have fun with the people, try to give back, and try to show you what's there, and try to experience that culture. So that being said, that was the big thing I wanted to address, is that I really didn't feel like I had spoken enough about how special I feel that the person that I met is, and just how she treats me. And we are still in the beginning stage, but again, I can tell you that if I have someone like that in my corner for the rest of my life, I'm a lucky freaking guy, right? So I think that can exist for not only me. I mean, I'm not special, you know. I'm just a guy that did a little research and has a passion about the Philippines and wants to live there permanently. Now, some of you guys that have probably, you know, haven't got this far in the video, I'm actually going to give you some dating advice. You know, never say never. I said that a while back I would never delve into this element. I would never get into my views on dating Filipinas and all that, but I am. This is the day, and I'll tell you why. About a week ago, I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch news, none of that crap. I watch YouTube. I do a lot of research because I'm interested in building a channel. I really am. It's something that's it's kind of a dream for me. I got my degree in photography. I love film, and I just feel like this is kind of something that's calling me, right? Well, the other day I'm on a live stream, and I'm not going to name the vlogger because I don't really like to go there. I don't really like to talk negative, and you know, but I'll say this, it was pretty cringeworthy. It's on a live stream of this guy that's kind of doing some nefarious stuff in the Philippines, which I really kind of have a problem with. And he's got a freaking course for foreigners of how to meet Filipinos, and basically create. I don't want to give too much information because I don't want to. I mean, it's not hard to figure out who this guy is. He's an American, and to me, he's just kind of a scumbag, right? He's got multiple girlfriends, and whatever, right? So he's selling this course to foreigners of how to meet Filipinas and create your own concubine, if you know. I don't know, and that kind of pissed me off, right? So I'm on there, I made a couple of comments, and I was kicked off of that live stream. That was hilarious, right? Well, so here's the thing, guys. This is my sage advice. I'm no expert, but you want to know how to date a Filipina, okay, or meet a Filipina? It's real simple. If you're in the United States or another country and you don't have time to go over to the Philippines and spend time, that's the best way. There's plenty of dating sites, okay, and I've used them. Pina Love, Filipina Cupid, Christian Filipina, right? There's tons of these freaking things, right? Some of them vet the women, some of them don't. Buyer beware, okay? I have met women on these sites. I've met women through Facebook that I have actually met in person when I got to the Philippines. Some of them were legit, some of them weren't. Let's just keep it at that. You know, if someone's automatically asking you to build them a house and buy them a new freaking scooter and their dad has died and they need money, that might be a red flag, right? Or if they're trying to get you over to WhatsApp or one of these encrypted messaging things, might be a red flag. It does work for some people though. There's some success stories out there. There really are. You just have to be, you just have to have really common sense. I'm not the smartest guy, right? I've made some terrible decisions in my life. I've failed at most things, or more things than most people have tried. But, you know, I'm just a small town guy from Mississippi that yeah, I'm college educated, but I got my degree in art. So it's like the joke with that is you want, you know, fries or chips with that if you work at fast food after getting an art degree, right? So my sage advice, if you want to meet a Filipina, a quality Filipina, here's how you do it. It's real simple. Don't be a dirtbag. Don't be cringeworthy. Be honest. And if you meet someone, whether it's in the city or in the province, my preference is the province, because the values to me just seem a little bit different, you know. There's great people everywhere, but just say hello, how are you, okay? If that person smiles at you and talks to you, just start a simple conversation, right? If you feel that vibe and you feel like there's a connection, say, hey, do you have Facebook? Can I friend request you on Facebook, or can I talk to you on Facebook via Messenger? That's it, right? That's all you need to know. If they say yes, then they're going to tell you if they're, most of the time, in my experience, they're going to tell you if they're in a relationship or if they're married or whatever. And, you know, they really don't like, they get embarrassed in public, you know. As foreigners, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's, so just take things slow. You know, like they're very religious people. They're very family oriented. So if you get a Facebook, you know, from someone, hit them up on Messenger. Start a conversation, right? Take them out to coffee or dinner or lunch. Don't be surprised if they want to invite a friend, and that should be completely okay. You know, they're going to tell you that they're married, they have a boyfriend, and that's okay. If that's the case, great. You know that firsthand, you can move on and find someone that's single and available, and go from there. You know, these guys that want to go over to the Philippines for like a week and then hop back here, that's not enough time. You need a few weeks, right? Don't go over there thinking that you're gonna find the love of your life in a week. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but if you make that epic trip, you know, for me, once I leave the United States, it's 2 days before I get there. So these girls are very smart. They know that, you know, they know that some of us have bad reputations, right? So just take things slow, and you can find a quality person. You really can. But it's not a hookup culture in the Philippines. I know that it exists, but for the most part, especially if you get out towards the province or away from the cities, it's just not the same as it is here. And guess what, guys? There's something really cool, is that if you talk to 10 different women over there that you maybe find attractive or whatever, they're not really going to shoot you down. This has been a long video. I am going to make it a long video. It's probably the longest video I've ever uploaded. I think it will be. But just a little recap, like, you know, if you're dating a Filipina and you're online, that's just your chat mate, right? Until you actually meet that person and spend time with them. That's just a chat mate. That's not a bad thing. I'm just telling you. Like, I'm no expert, but, you know, you can find a quality relationship in the Philippines. I'm a firm believer of that. My next wife, and I will be married again, will be a Filipina. It might be my current girlfriend. I don't know. You know, it's a very, we're in the beginning of our relationship right now. That's the big thing I wanted to, you know, say in this video, is I just wanted to kind of give my simple advice. I'm no expert, but I just see a different way of life over there that I'm really excited about, and I think a lot of people here will be excited about it too. And I'm going to continue to try to work hard and build this channel and take you guys along for the ride and show you some really cool stuff. So thanks to everyone that has supported me from the beginning of this little project. Dream big, stay positive, and I'll see you on the next one.